Helen Brown is a best-selling Kiwi author. She's one book which is about to be made into a movie and has just released its long-awaited sequel, and my daughter just loves them, for one. She's a huge fan. So am I. I've absolutely loved both of your books. For people that aren't familiar with them, if we can go back to number one, Cleo, the cat that helped heal a family, can you talk to me about that, how that came about?
Well, it goes right back to 1983 when our oldest son, Sam, who was only 9 at the time, we were living in Wellington.
Yeah.
He was run over and killed. And our whole family was totally traumatised and didn't know how on earth to help Sam's younger brother, Rob.
He was only 6 at the time, wasn't he?
That's right. And about 3 weeks after the funeral, this strange thing happened. This woman turned up on the doorstep with this tiny little bundle. I thought it was a toy to begin with, but it was a kitten, and Rob ran out from behind me. He said, it's Sam's kitten, it's Cleo, Mum. And Sam had actually chosen this kitten about 3 weeks before he died.
It was going to be his 9th birthday present, wasn't it?
That's right.
So what was a mum to do when she'd seen hers? Because Rob for the first time smiled, didn't he?
Yeah, and I'd been in such a traumatised state, I wasn't really able to help Rob, and for the first time I could see this potential in this little animal to help this little boy.
Because it's a humorous book, it's inspiring, it's honest. Why did you write it? Why did you feel the need to write down all of the things that had happened after this tragedy?
Well, I actually needed a long time to get it right, because at the time I was writing a column for the Dominion and I didn't know how to tell my readers what had happened that week. And in the end, I just sat down and wrote it. And I got wonderful letters back, and some of them were from other parents who'd lost kids. And they were the most helpful form of counselling I had at that time. And in a way, I wanted to pay them back and try and pass that kind of help on. And it actually took 25 years or more to be in a space inside my own heart and head that I felt I could do that.
It was Cleo that was one of your biggest counsellors, though, wasn't she? I mean, she helped heal you in her own feline way.
Yes, and look, I have just hundreds of emails from people who have had cats do the same thing for them.
How did she do it? What did she do?
I don't know, it's that kind of magical presence. I mean, cats are always there for you. They don't judge, they always listen, they kind of know when to cuddle, and there's something really special about them.
Do you think she chose you?
Well, I have this theory that cats always do choose their owners and not the other way around. Yeah.
So can you fathom, perhaps, had you not, when she arrived on your doorstep with that little kitten, had you said, no, I'm sorry, we can't have her, this is a crazy time in our life, can you imagine what life might have been like without Cleo?
I think it would have been a lot harsher. Yeah.
So after well, in fact, before we even get to the latest book, there's going to be now a movie made of the first.
Yes.
Crazy times.
I know it is. And Cleo is now in 16 languages, sold 500,000 copies around the world, been on the New York Times bestseller list. I mean, I've had to wake up every morning and pinch myself because stories just seem to have touched the world somehow.
Do you know who's going to play you?
No, not really.
Someone fabulous, I hope. The other side to that, though, is finding out that you were on the bestsellers list with number one, as you say, 500,000 copies. At the same time, you also discovered that you had breast cancer.
Yes.
How do you cope with the highs and the lows of that one?
Well, it's very strange and challenging, and in a way that when you get that kind of big news, whether it's good or bad, you have the same initial reaction, which is shock.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, though, good news is better.
Absolutely, and at least you had that to get you through, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, that was one thing. You also had your family.
Yes, but we were going through a lot of turmoil at the time.
You were, especially with Lydia,
yes.
your eldest daughter.
Yes, who I'd raised to be a very strong, independent young woman, and she'd got very intrigued by Buddhism and had decided she was going to go off to Sri Lanka to become a Buddhist nun, and she'd made her plans and she wasn't going to change them whether I had breast cancer or not.
She did come back, though, didn't she?
She did. And look, 4 years on, I look back and I'm just so pleased she went at that time, because it would, if I'd forced her to stay, it would have been dreadful. She would have been grumpy, I would have felt guilty. This way she came back of her own accord, and it's a bit like a cat, you know. They only show up when they're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So book 2, after Cleo came Jonah.
Yes.
Jonah's a different kind of putty tat.
He is.
Isn't he? He's a bit psycho.
He's the opposite to Cleo in every way. He's male, he's from a pet shop.
Yeah.
He thinks he's an aristocrat. He thinks he's the size of a Doberman and he can take on anything in the world. He's very vain.
He likes to dress up in tulle.
I know. I think he was a drag queen in a previous life. He just loves tulle and sequins and anything. I mean, sometimes on my Facebook page, I'll put a tutu on him or something. I think, oh, people think I'm being cruel. But he loves it.
And he's feeling his skin.
He sits and purrs and poses and is very upset when I take these things off him.
See who rules the roost. Were you worried about doing a follow-up to such a hugely successful book?
Very. And I put on 14 kilograms, sitting in front of the computer, eating chocolate, worrying that this new book wasn't going to be anything like as good. But fortunately...
Can I just tell you it is?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Fortunately, the world seems to be agreeing with you, and it's going to be in German and Russian and French, and the US have taken on the UK, so looks like it's going to tread a similar path.
I'm sure it will. I just want to go to page 313 in the book. There's a beautiful quote. I have 2 daughters, so this really resonated with me. It says, the trick about daughters is to appreciate their beauty, do your best by them, and let them go as graciously as possible. I really like that. And you learnt a lot about that through Lydia, didn't you?
She's my biggest teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think they're utterly fabulous. I urge you to pick them up and have a read. And as I say, my 10-year-old's into them as well.
I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled
absolutely.
that age group's taking it on too.
Thank you so much, Helen, for coming in. All the very best.
Thank you.
Okay, good to see you. 1.3 billion people call it home, and we are off to its most dazzling city. Air New Zealand Holidays takes us to China's Shanghai next.